guys, in this video we're gonna have a look on how to make it. So I will import the clip. I will put the link in the description to the same footage. So let me just drag it into our timeline. Okay, so this is mainly the footage that we're using. Actually we will be doing dragging in After Effects, then we'll do 3D setup in Blender. I'm gonna set up the ending or the duration frame. I set it to 10 seconds, and yeah, this is what I want. I'm just gonna split this layer. I'm gonna remove it. Okay, so we have that clip. So let me just click track camera and it will start tracking it. If I come to advanced and click detailed analysis, it will track some more features in the scene that can be good. Okay, so it's solving the camera actually. Let's wait for this. Okay, so it's been solved and we have so many trackers. I will select the perfect one that works for me. Okay, so I'm just trying to select these trackers. If I right click, create solid in camera, and now let's check it out. If it's worked, and we're going for this one. Okay, so I think it's not working perfectly. I think it was not a good trackers. I think I have to select some other trackers in order to get a perfect track. So I'm just going for these three trackers, create solid and camera. And now if we play it, I think it's perfect and I loved it. So this is fine. It's time to grab this data into Blender in order to add some 3D objects into it. Okay, so I'm just looking at all of those stuff. If it's fine, then we're gonna export it using a script called export composition data to JSON. I will put the link in the description. You can download the file, just run that script file. You will be able to export all the data from After Effects as a JSX file, which can be imported into Blender easily. I'm gonna select everything and click File. I'm gonna go to Script and click Export Composition Data to .json. So I'm gonna select a location where I want to save it. I'm just going for this location. I'm gonna name it to whatever I want. I'm gonna hit export, and now it's time to fire up Blender. We have a Blender scene. I'm going to delete everything in the scene. It's time to import it using an add-on. It's After Effects.json converted data, and I will put the link to the add-on also. You can install this add-on very easily and you will be able to import the data that we exported from After Effects. So go ahead to the directory where you save the .json file and hit import After Effects composition. So you will be able to import all of those data, and now we have these data here, and we can delete the plan in the front. I'm gonna hit X to delete it and select everything. And if we look at the timeline, the keyframe moves to 0 frame, and I don't want to just click G, grab it into 1 frame, and that's it. It will be perfect. Okay, so another thing that we're going to do is to set up the output settings. It must match the original footage. I'll just change the frame rate, which is 25 frames per second, and everything is fine. Now go to camera settings, click background image and click add image, click movie clip, and then click open. Go ahead to the directory where you have the footage and click open clip. So you will be able to load the clip into it. Increase the opacity level to 100%, and now if you play it, it's perfectly working as it was working in After Effects. And I think this is something we wish. And now it's time to rotate this plan. Before rotating it, change the transfer orientation to local. You will be able to rotate the axis with it also. And now we're going to placing it on the perfect spot where it just cover up these street thing, I don't know what okay, so I'm just gonna grab it to backside and I'm just gonna move it to Z axis. In local orientation, all of the axes changed with the rotation of the object. That is why it's feel different. I'm gonna scale this thing on Z axis like that. If we play it, it's perfectly working, and this is what we want. And now, yeah, I think it's floating in the air, but we don't care about it. If we move it down, it will just mess up the tracker, and this is what we don't want at all. So I think we can leave it at the default setting as it was. Okay, so let's just play it, and I think it's perfect. Now it's time to set it up, and I think it's time to add some vegetation into the scene, and I think we can do it right away. we can just scale it on z-axis like that to fill up the gap, because it's actually working as a shadow catcher, and here the shadow will be, you know, casted. I'm gonna save this file into somewhere, and because if you don't save the file, it's not gonna work perfectly and you might lose the data. So I have all of those vegetation. I will put the link to every one of them, so you will be able to download them and use them as I'm using right now. It's downloaded from Quixel Megascans library. It is, I think it's free because I have downloaded it for free, and you can use it. I don't know it's free or not, but I just log in into this and it gave me everything for free. Okay, so those are the assets that I imported. I just added them some material because by default FBX file don't have material. Okay, so now it's time to make the transition effect that I just showed in the beginning of the video. In order to do this, I added a huge sphere in the beginning of the animation. Why I'm doing this, you will learn why I'm doing this. Okay, just watch the video to learn. I'm gonna move this into y-axis like that, and now what we're going to do, we're gonna go to physics tab, and we're gonna click first we're gonna click plan, then we'll add a particle system, click advanced, and then we're gonna go to render, select collection, and just select the collection of the vegetations or whatever you want to call it. And we can click pick random and also object rotation. If we move up and click rotation, then we can change it to global Y, and yeah, it will face the perfect side. If we need to increase this random scale and also the original scale in here, and this is what we want. Okay, we're gonna increase the scale slightly. Okay, so now click source and also change it to random, the distribution to be random, and then we're gonna go to physics tab. We're gonna click, I think we're gonna click dynamic band. Yeah, dynamic band, leave it as a canvas and click add canvas. Select the sphere, dynamic band, change it to brush and click add brush. Change the point, the pen type to proximity, and leave everything as default. Now select the plan and change the format, the surface type to weight, and click output and click the plus button in front of it, so it will create a weight paint basically. Now move up the dynamic pen before particle system, and now go to particle system. Before going to it, select go to dynamic band. Okay, go to first frame and select the sphere, grab it into y-axis, hit I for adding a location keyframe, and then move ahead to frame number, maybe you can move to frame number 2050 and move these on y-axis, something like this. Hit I and add a location keyframe. Now as you can see, we got a simple animation here. We're gonna change it to linear because we don't want to have a Bezier curve, which doesn't work for us. Now move ahead to cache and click back to back the dynamic band, and yeah, now move ahead to particle system, move ahead to vertex group and select the length is dp weight. And if we play it, as you can see, it's not working perfectly because we don't have enough geometry to work with. So in order to fix it, we're gonna go to edit mode. We're gonna add so many subdivision into it in order to have some good geometry like that. So now click delete back and reback the dynamic band, something like this. As you can see, we have a perfect result. And now move ahead to the object settings of the sphere, change it to bond so we will not see any sphere in the scene. This is what we want. I'm gonna go and play it. As you can see, we got some perfect result. Maybe it can be faster, maybe it can be slower. You can just change the keyframe of the sphere. You can grab one keyframe away to make it slower or nearer to the first frame to make it faster. This is totally up to you. As I want it to be slower, I'm gonna move this keyframe away to something like 450, and I will reselect the plane. Wait, I'm gonna reselect the plane. I think I have to move it to 350. I'm gonna reselect the plane, go to its settings, physics setting, delete the back and reback it. You know, I'm just gonna hit back again. Maybe I can just tweak around. Okay, I think I have nothing to change here. I'm gonna select the plan. I'm gonna hit back to bake it like that. And if you play it, now it will be slower than before. This is what we want because we want that when the camera moves on, the grass or the vegetation grow. Or I can make it a little bit faster than this. I'm gonna delete the back again. I'm gonna reback it. You just do it. You have to reback it because if you don't reback it, you will not be able to update its settings. And this is, yeah, this is what we are going to do in every step of this animation or this VFX or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see, we got this kind of animation here, and this is what we want. And okay, so I'm gonna go to render view. I'm gonna set up some rendering settings. I'm gonna go to render engine. I'm gonna, sorry, rendering setting. I'm gonna make it cycles. I'm gonna make it GPU compute, and I'm gonna go to film, make it transfer. Nothing's happening because we have a sphere in front. Okay. Why it's totally black? I don't know. I'm just gonna go to solid view and let me just try why it was black. Oh, I have actually duplicated the plan and then click it the shadow catcher. The downward plan was duplicated and removed the particle system in order to have a shadows on the ground. And I actually made two plan on the ground. One is for shadow and another one is hidden in the render because we don't want to have it. So now it's time to make this side stuff like I just shown in the video that we have some more vegetation on the sides. I will just show you one side. You can do the same for the other side, but for this video I will just show you one side. Okay, I'm just gonna make the particle system to 10,000 maybe, but I think it's very much. I'm gonna make it 4,000. Okay, so it's working and I have added all of those cubes on the side. So now it's time to make the same animation on the side as well. So I'm gonna decrease the number maybe because it's a lot and I don't want them to be like that. So, okay, it's working perfectly. Tracking is done perfectly and animation looks perfect. And then what you need, if you go to render view, we can see it's perfect, but there's no light in the scene. I'm gonna go to the object data and I'm gonna click camera for now to remove them from the scene because I just want to see what is going on. And now if we just add a sun lamp, maybe we can just check it if it's working perfectly. I'm just gonna rotate it on that axis in order to have shadows on it. Okay, so I think it's not looking perfect. I'm gonna rotate it maybe, and okay, so it's totally dark. Maybe we can move or rotate the sun on z-axis and then just increase the strength of the sun, maybe like something like 2 or 3 or maybe 4. But I think it is just looking very, bad because we don't have object in the back in order to uh, resist the rays of the sun to get a perfect shadow on the floor. I'm gonna go to face selection mode. I'm gonna grab it on z-axis or maybe extrude it. I'm just gonna do it in order to have shadows on every part of the vegetation. I'm gonna try material view or maybe I can go to render view. And I think if I move these on x-axis like that, we have something like this. And okay, I'm gonna move it to here. Maybe we're gonna go to solid view. I'm gonna save the file. I'm gonna go to render and I'm gonna make the sample to 50. And I'm gonna go and render out the image to see what is going on. It might take time to get render, so let's wait for this and see what we get. By the way, we're gonna composite it in Blender. So go to compositor, click use node. I'm gonna click add, click output, and add a weaver node. Connect the image into the image, and connect the uh, movie clip. Maybe we can try movie clip. Okay, so we're gonna add a movie clip like from input. It's an input. I'm gonna click movie clip. I'm gonna click open and just click alpha over node. I'm just gonna add alpha over node. I'm gonna search for it and add this between those two. I'm gonna connect this image with the upper socket and this one with the downward socket. I'm gonna connect composite and also the weaver. And as you can see, we have composited the CGI object into 3D, but some errors we can see there's no shadows on the ground. Uh, there's nothing on the sides, and I'm gonna delete the sun lamp. If I go to render view, we don't have anything. I'm gonna add an environment texture. I'm gonna go ahead and add an asset. I'm gonna add a parking lot, or you know, I'm gonna add these. If you go to solid view, I'm gonna render out the image, and let's check it out. Okay, so we do have, okay, so as you can see, we got some shadows and it does look perfect. Yeah, it looks good, and we can move ahead into, okay, so we have these, and as you can see, it's on all of the side of the cube. I'm gonna select the side faces and delete them because I don't really need them. I'm gonna select them one by one, and I'm gonna hit X and delete all of those faces because we don't really need them. Okay, so if we go to, we're gonna do the same for the other side because we want to have some other vegetation on the other side of the street. And I'm gonna select it and hit X and delete them. Okay, go to object mode, and let's try it out and to see what is going on. Okay, so we added the same particle system into it, but we don't have animation yet because we don't have dynamic paint on this object. We don't have the animation on this object. So let's go to uh, also change the phase. Maybe we can just duplicate it, and I'm gonna change the phase of the particle system to like that, and I'm gonna play it. As you can see, we don't have animation yet because we want to have a dynamic paint over these. I'm gonna click dynamic paint, add canvas, and move ahead into make it a weight. And also I'm gonna click the plus icon. Before backing it, make sure the dynamic paint is up on the particle system. I'm gonna hit back, and now if we try to add it as a length object, as a length particle system, we will not have a good result because we don't have a good geometry like that. So we must have a great geometry in order to have a great animation. So I'm gonna go to edit mode and add so many cuts, and then go to physics tab and reback it because we want to update it. I'm gonna hit back and reback it, and now you'll have the animation that we are looking for. And yeah, that's it. That's super easy. By the way, I have used an HDRI. You can use anything, but it must be cloudy because there is no such there, like, this feels like there's no sun at the moment. And okay, so I'm gonna cancel the render because we don't have a shadow object on the side. So in order to have a shadow object, we're gonna turn on the camera for these because we have turned it off in the beginning of the video. I'm gonna duplicate the object. I'm gonna remove the particle system from the second plan, and I'm gonna go to the object data. It's here, and I'm gonna click, it's a shadow catcher. Click the shadow catcher, and that's it. So you can do the same for the other side as well, because it's super easy. You can follow the same rule in order to have the same result. As you can see, we got both of the side having vegetation. You can move these one, maybe maybe you can move it to see them in the scene like that. And yeah, This is what we want, and it's super easy. I've already made a tutorial on the gross animation. You can check it out. I'll put the link in the description to the same tutorial if you are willing to. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna render it, and I will see what we have in the final render. You can do the same stuff for the other side because I have not changed anything. You can also add your product if you want to, uh, in the front of the street maybe. Okay, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the next one.